she said I hate my day.
Yo, what is going on, guys? It's Tyler, and I'm back with another tutorial for you guys on basic effects, which you guys suggested on my Twitter, and that won the poll. And I've got another tutorial coming out, I think next week, which will be cinematic tutorials. So basically I've synced up the first clip, and I'm going to be showing you going through some effects like screen pumps, exposure, transition, like a amino colorizer, glow, twitch, opacity, etc., which I always use in my edits. Like they're super basic effects and easy to learn. So let's get started. So we're going to start with screen pumps and exposure. So basically we want to make a adjustment layer, go up to layer, new adjustment layer, or click Control Alt Y. So once we've created that, we chuck on transform, and you can either look it up, but I've got a special plugin which I'll leave in the description, which you can click Control Spacebar to look up your effects. It just makes your editing flow a lot easier. So I click U on my keyboard to get up my time remap syncing, and so the shots here and the bass drop, and then the start of the shot. So once we've dragged transform on, this is for pan and crop. I normally set my scale at 100, move it back around 3 keyframes. So put the 100 back 3 keyframes, move 3 keyframes forward on the shot, and I usually set it at 103. So basically we copy this over, right, and set the 103 marker on the beat, so it pumps in like that. And you do that for the main beats. When you're editing squad wipes, it's a bit different. I usually just put it on the shots. You don't put it in between the shots. It just looks a bit like you're trying to keep it as clean as possible because it is Fortnite editing. So once you've done that, you want to highlight all the keyframes and right click keyframe assistant, easy ease. And once we've done that, you can click the graph editor icon here. Once we're into this stage, basically I highlight all the bottom keyframes, hold shift and drag these across, right, like so. And basically, if you have an understanding of how this works, it'll screen pump in and it'll come out fast, then go in, come out fast, go in and come out fast. So it should look like this. Some adjustments might need to be made depending on the song as well, so I'm just going to drag these back a bit because it's coming out a bit too fast. And then I'd also for this song especially, I'd take it back. Like it all depends on the song and what you're editing to, so it's all about trial and error. So I'd take this back probably about that. See how that looks, because the further you take it back, the less impact the screen pump's going to have. I take that about 1 to the right, and I think that should be good for screen pumps. So we're done with screen pumps for now. Next thing, we're going to move to exposure. So we drag on exposure, close that, open this, and basically I put this on the most impactful places, like to just create extra impact. So I usually set my exposure at 1, move back same keyframe amount as the transform, set it at 0, and then move roughly halfway, 3/4 of the way through the clip, yeah, the way you want it, and set that keyframe to 0. So you have a big screen flash here, bang, and then it cuts out. And I usually set it 1 going, say if there was a cinematic here, from here to here, I'd usually put an exposure on that to bring that back, and then push that back to there, my bad. Also there's an impact point here in this part of the song. also make that shorter. I'd get rid of that, to be honest. Alright, I'm just doing some touches because I've got OCD. So there's no screen pump there. I removed that just because it looked a bit out of place. It didn't look as clean. I'd also add exposure to this because this is when the beat drops in the song. So I just there. Another exposure point. I drag this back a bit like that, so it's less harsh. And I'd also add one to the start of the clip, so it should look like this. Play the whole clip, my bad. Alright, that's for exposure. Now we can move on to camera lens blur, which I also use. So I usually set this at 3. And you keyframe it. It's up to you where you want to put it, to be honest. So usually at the start of the clip. And then move to around here. Set the keyframe to 0. Click U on your keyboard to bring up this. And then set this at 0 there, same as exposure. So add some nice blur to it. And I also put this at the end of the clip as well. Next effect, we're gonna add some glow for impact. So create a new adjustment layer the same way. So layer, new, and adjustment layer. And my bad. So basically you want to go, I'd say 4 keyframes. I don't really have set values, I just do it as I go. So 4 keyframes before the shot, cut that, and then go around, just go to the end of the clip, cut that there, and then I'd add film glow, fast film glow. So, and once we've done this, it's all up to you with the settings. I'd recommend going up to 50 with the radius, changing the Y radius to 65, and then I'd keyframe the intensity to around 30, and then keyframe it at 0 at the end of the clip, so it should look like this, and then 0 at the start to build it up. And then we can also add flicker onto this, S_flicker. I usually set my my amplitude about 0.15, and then also I set my frequency to around 20, random frequency. And I think I want my glow to end faster, so bring this around there. It looks a bit funny due to the clip and the colors of the storm, but you get the idea that it'll look a lot better on some other clips. And I'm sorry, for the sake of the tutorial I chose this clip. I shouldn't have. We also, I think we should add some like screen flashes here as well, which I want to teach you guys as well how I do mine. So basically click T on the clip, find the beats where you want to do your screen flashes. This might look terrible because it's not the right kind of song to do it for, but we'll try it anyway just to teach you guys. I set keyframe at 100, move that across a little bit, then keyframe at 30. Copy this, like so, on each one, and then it hits here. You can delete that last keyframe, the 100 keyframe. So it does look pretty terrible on this clip, but I just want to teach you for the sake of the tutorial. So we can delete that. Next effect I want to teach you guys is the Twitch, my Twitch settings. So if you guys have Twitch, drag that on. Set the amount to, I'd say 7, speed to 6, and enable slide. And then we want to go into operators controls, slide, and set the slide spread to 0. So basically here we want to keyframe the amount at the shot, then go around here, keyframe at 0, so midway through the build up of the shot, and then at the end of the shot we want to go around this far through. So it's just rough estimates. I never have exact numbers when I'm doing my stuff. And then we can set this at 0. So this is the basic Twitch effects. Just add some Y shake, which is great for impact as well. Let me think. Next effect, I think we'll go through just some more advanced effects here. We'll add a posterized time to the start of the clip with film damage. I did this in Montage for the first clip, and yeah, so basically create another adjustment layer, Control Alt Y, or layer, new adjustment layer, and then split it at the start of the clip to the beat coming in. And I've got posterized time. I usually set this to, I'd say for this, 18. You want to keyframe it around halfway. Keyframe at 18, move it to 24, and then 29.94 for the same settings as the composition. So it goes from 18 to 24 to 29, so it comes in smoothly. So that adds like a little, it's just basically what it's doing is skipping frames throughout the clip, so it lowers the frame rate of the clip playing at the time. And we also want to add some film damage. It's S_film damage. Drag that on. I usually get rid of all these settings, so change all these values to 0 except for dust density. 0, 0, 0. Actually, I'd keep the flicker on at 0.1. And then we want to open up dust details. Set this to white or black, whatever you guys prefer, whatever the song suits. Change dust density. It's up to you, but I usually do 25. Dust size to 1.5, and vary dust size to 1.5 as well. That's maybe a bit too big, so we can easily change that. 0.5. That's better. So it just gives you a slight film grain dust thing of white stuff. Yeah, so another effect we can add is, so we'll create a new adjustment layer again. These are from the Amino plugins. I'll leave all the plugin links to the websites in the description if you guys want to buy them. So let me think. So Amino colorizer. Basically, I use this for my color effects. So say we would want this, or it's like I said again, it's all personal choice. So I'd set this to, where's the start of the clip there? So click T on your keyboard once you've got this layer on. Set that to 100, and then to around here, set the opacity to 0, so we're just using opacity now, and then same as the start of the clip, so 0, and then you can add some flicker, which has a nice effect. I'd set this to 0.3 now, random C 20. It might look silly. I think it looks silly because I've got flicker already on my film damage. Whoops. So that should be it for that. So, and one more basic effect which you can use to build up impact, which will be the last one of this tutorial, is the opacity fade out to shot. Basically set up same as your Twitch settings, so basically halfway through the start of it, like the beginning of the jump or whatever trick shot thing, to the actual shot itself, and you can keyframe this at 25, so it goes from 100 and then bang, it hits the shot, and then you can keyframe this back at 100. Just creates extra impact, like I said. And we can preview this and see how it looks. Alright, that looks good to me. It looks good. And yeah, so thank you guys for watching. I'd appreciate if any of you new guys subscribe to me. Some big goals set for myself, and go check out all my other links in the description. And thank you guys for watching. I'll see you in the next tutorial.